champions. Today, a semifinal matchup as the Hornets of Holmdel take on the Pirates of Seton Hall Prep. Hello again, everybody. I'm Mick Meininghoff along with Rob Kennedy, set for another TOC semifinal, and this should be a great matchup. When you talk about these two teams, you have one of the best in the country taking on a team with experience and dedication.
And that best team in the country, ranked number 4 right now, Seton Hall Prep. But don't sell Holmdel short. They're a team that executes very well in their half-court offense and can make threes. Those threes will be a big part of their offense if they're going to hang in there tonight.
Well, let's talk about the Holmdel club. Here's a team with a little experience. Their second time through the ringer in a TOC, and they're only feeling more comfortable.
And they played very well in the TOC first round against Parsippany, won by 22 in that game. This is a team with a lot of experience. They know how to come up with big wins.
And you got to like their floor general in Dave Klatsky. Here's a player who makes great decisions. He's great at distributing the basketball, and also he can knock down the three with the best of them.
Well, the thing about Holmdel is they really execute out of the half-court offense. And if you're a team that gets it done in the half-court, you've got to have a point guard who makes things go. This is a guy, though, too, who can step down and knock out that big three-point shot. You see his numbers there in his last 3 games. This is a guy who's coming in playing well.
Now, Seton Hall Prep, well, here's a team basically that is awesome. They are number 1 in New Jersey and number 4 in the country.
Well, they've been playing terrific basketball in the midst of a 25-game winning streak. You see right there, they don't just beat opponents, they've been blowing them out.
And also, when you talk about the big guy in their lineup, it's Marcus Toney-El, arguably one of the top 10 juniors in the United States.
Well, he's had a terrific junior season here this year. Here's a guy who's a terrific athlete, really runs the floor, and then can finish with the flurry when he's out on the break. But he's also got skills, especially in on the low post. A very good shooter from 15 feet and in. This is a guy who, as well as playing terrific basketball coming in, he was the MVP of the Pro Gill A final.
Well, this is going to be a war. It's going to be a great one. Seton Hall Prep taking on Holmdel. We'll come back with the starting lineup, so stay with us right here on CNA.
Dad, I hit 2 homers today. I wish you saw me. I miss you.
Child support. It's more than just money.
Some fans watch football, but you see a different game with an insider's perspective when you read the new full-color sporting news, packed with more action and more excitement. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey, in season and out. And now you can read the sporting news free when you call to claim your no-cost 4-issue sporting news mini subscription. If you like it, get 24 more issues, 28 in all, for 4 easy payments of just $5.99. Plus, get these great sports binoculars free with your paid subscription. Call now and see a different game.
The Kicks march to the NPSL Championship continues this Saturday night, March 27th, as the Kicks will attack the Florida Thundercats at 7:35 at the First Union Spectrum. Come and see All-Stars Matt Knowles and Peter Pappas as the Kicks defend their East Division title. For affordable family fun, Kicks tickets are available at the First Union Center box office and at all Ticketmaster locations, or by calling the Kicks at 1-888-888-KICKS.
Welcome back to the Lewis Brown Athletic Center here in Piscataway as great matchup. The Central Jersey Group 2 champs, the Holmdel Hornets, taking on Seton Hall Prep, the Parochial A champs. Well, last year, the Holmdel Hornets made their way into this tournament. A lot of the same players coming back: Adam Fleischner, John Donovan, Brandon Snodgrass, Vinny McKeever, and Dave Klatsky in the starting lineup for Holmdel, and head coach Tom Stead here today. There's Tom. 23-7 this year, coming out of the Shore Conference.
They're the Group 2 state champion and got here to this game by way of their 22-point win over Parsippany.
The Pirates lineup: Marcus Toney-El, Mark Curry, Brandon Knight, Tyrone Barley, and Emil Mitchell in the backcourt to run the show for Bob Farrell in his 22nd season.
The all-time winningest coach at Seton Hall Prep history, one of the top coaches not only in New Jersey but in the country. They've won 90% of their games here in the 1990s. But the one thing they have been unable to do is win the TOC championship. They've lost in the finals 3 times, including each of the last 2 years. Their coming in, though, this year as the odds-on favorite to come away with the TFC crown.
Snodgrass and Curry jump center, and the Pirates control as we are underway in this Tournament of Champions semifinal. Knight brings it up against Klatsky. Knight, nice pass inside. Curry can't get it to go. The foul on the way, and there is a foul, so let's hold on.
Well, the reason why Seton Hall Prep is so good is not only can they get out in transition and turn their defense into offense, but once they get into the half-court sets on the offensive end, they run through things with such precision.
So Mark Curry, the junior, goes to the free throw line, where he's shooting about 64%. And there's your first point of the ball game.
Well, Mark Curry in his own right, one of the top juniors in the state of New Jersey. Another very good class in the junior class, led by Marcus Toney-El. But Curry's a guy who also will have a ton of interest from Division I coaches.
So the 2 free throws go home, and it's 2-0 for the Pirates. Brian Snodgrass will bring it up. They come all the way out of the ball. And Adam Fleischner has it beyond the arc. He's going to have to be a big inside presence today. Nice look, and the layup will not go down for Klatsky.
I had the wide open layup on the left side, went up with his left hand and just missed the layup.
The Pirates will hold it out front, look for a good shot. Farley gives up for Toney-El. And now Emil Mitchell. Good zone pressure here put on by Holmdel. Not many passing lanes available.
They play just good, solid man-to-man defense and make sure that they put some pressure on the basketball.
Jumper outside by Curry. Aired it out. Offside rebound for Barley, and he has it.
Well, Barley's another one of those guys out of that junior class who will have a lot of Division I attention next year, right there for the offensive putback.
So Klatsky will bring it up with his team trailing by a score of 4-0. Brian Snodgrass, a three-point specialist, he starts to eye things up. Klatsky goes up for McKeever. They reset the offense. 6-12, 4-0. Seton Hall Prep out front. Jumper on the way here by Fleischner. He's got it on the baseline.
Fleischner coming off a big game in his last game. Went into that and got rid of his dreadlocks. Had been playing with the dreadlocks all season long. A little superstitious since they lost to Long Branch last year when he had them on. So new do for Fleischner.
I understand he is quite a character. Posted up, Marcus Toney-El. Turn around all the way. It will not drop, but a foul, and it's going to be on John Donovan. So Donovan will pick up his first.
That matchup against Toney-El is going to be a tough matchup all night long for Holmdel. Really don't have the size to match up with Toney-El inside.
Second foul on Donovan. We're just underway with 5:45 to play here in the first. And Marcus Toney-El is good at the free throw line.
Has been playing almost all season long from the middle of January on with the bandaged up left hand. But it hasn't really slowed him down. The MVP of the Parochial A Finals had 17-9 against St. Joe's Metuchen. He's had a big state tournament, including a career-high 28 in the Parochial A North Final against Roselle Catholic. Playing his best basketball. Here comes state tournament time.
Finally, the Hornets control this ball, knocked out of bounds, and it stays here for Holmdel. So the Holmdel Hornets with Vinny McKeever to inbound under their own basket. Nice pass on the baseline, on the way, and the layup is good for Fleischner. So Adam Fleischner has all 4 points, and his team trails by 1.
Well, he led with 18 points to go along with 11 rebounds against Parsippany. And once again, he's the guy leading the way scoring-wise. He's got all 4 points for Holmdel.
Emil Mitchell gives up for Brandon Knight. Farley down the lane, gives up for Toney-El. Layup good.
Oh, look right there. Comes running into the shot. Good dribble penetration. And Toney-El came stepping right to the basketball to finish with the runner.
That's going to be a difficult matchup, like you say, all day long, because Toney-El has that knifing ability to get in the lane in just the smallest of areas.
Not only does he have the size, but he's got the quickness as well.
Platsky, baseline drive, kicks it to Snodgrass. McKeever thought about a three. They skip it back to Snodgrass. Nice job of drawing the defense to him, and now gives up. Good ball movement here by the Hornets against pressure. And Morrell takes a long one. That's no good. Fleischner tipping at it, but can't come down with it. Controlled by Curry.
But you see how the three-point line is such a big part of their offense. They get into gaps and then kick it back out. They're always looking for the three.
Tyrone Barley thought about a three. Now pitched inside Curry. The turnaround, that won't go. Toney-El the tip once, the tip twice. Barley fighting for a rebound, and finally Holmdel controls as Morrell brings it across midcourt. The trailer's McKeever. Snodgrass wants a three. Got it.
Well, as you said, he's a three-point specialist right there in transition. Just comes stepping into it. Got over 175 threes on his career coming in. A 42% shooter from beyond the arc.
And we are tied at 7. Coming up on the 3:30 mark in this first quarter. O'Neal Mitchell goes up for Knight. Pressure there. Knight goes over Platsky. A little hard off the glass. The tip is good, though, by Brandon Knight.
Now, great athletic play in the lane there by Knight to get it up on the board and then go tap it back in.
Platsky, the floor leader. Brings it up against pressure all the way to the paint and kicks back from the keeper for a three. And it's just off the rim. Tipped up. No good by Morrell. One of the smallest guys on the floor. Almost got it to go home.
You see the guards crashing the offensive boards. It was Knight on the other end. That time it was Morrell.
Fleischner. Nice look for Platsky. Goes up strong and has it.
Well, he made sure he didn't miss his second layup right there. Always moving without the basketball.
Platsky, a National Merit Scholar. And do it on the floor and in the classroom as well. We are tied at 9 with 2:48 to play in the first quarter. Toney-El kicks it all the way into the crowd. But it was tipped. They say tipped by Snodgrass.
Well,
or Fleischner.
Whatever they're saying, it's wrong. Nobody touched that basketball. It's hard to miss one that easy. I mean, whew, there wasn't anybody even close to the basketball on that one.
I didn't see a tip.
No, well, that's because there wasn't one.
Okay. Brandon Knight. There's to skip past Mitchell wants the three. Aired it out. Toney-El the rebound, and he's fouled on the way up. That time, Fleischner got him.
Well, Seton Hall in the early going, having their way on the offensive boards. Marcus Toney-El once again getting after it off the offensive glass.
First foul of the ball game for Adam Fleischner. They really need him on the floor. He can't afford to be in foul trouble. He's one of the biggest inside presences they have.
Now, they can't afford to have him on the bench. It's going to be hard enough trying to contain Marcus Toney-El with him on the floor. But if he goes to the bench with foul trouble, they're really behind the 8 ball.
Bob Farrell and Tom Stead, the respective coaches, looking on as Toney-El has another at the line, and he's got it. 11-9, Seton Hall Prep. Made it all the way to the championship game last year in the Tournament of Champions before bowing to St. Pat's of Elizabeth.
That's right. In the last 2 years, the year before that, they lost to St. Anthony's in that memorable game in the TOC final, 69-63. Matter of fact, they had a list of the best games of the 90s, and that game somehow was not in there. To me, that may have been the best game of the 90s. They listed 10 in the Star Ledger a couple weeks ago with their preview, and that game wasn't even listed. Mike Kinney, who's one of the best high school sports writers in all the country, I think he missed one. He doesn't miss many, but he missed that one.
Well, maybe he had to be at the top of the list, and they just kind of like bumped it in.
Somehow, because that game was memorable. Ryan Peterson was sick throwing up over in the corner. One of the best played high school basketball games I've ever seen.
Wasn't that the game he had like 15 or 16 assists?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was incredible. That was just a great game.
Here is Snodgrass for three. It won't go, and Marcus Toney-El controls the backcourt. Knight pulls up the dribble and reset the offense with 1:49 to play here in the first. 11 lines, the Pirates still leading the ball. And a push from behind. I think that's on Snodgrass.
Yep.
It is.
Snodgrass with the hand in the back underneath as they tried to throw it into Marcus Toney-El.
Well, that foul occurred about 9 feet away from the hoop. They're really doing their best to try to keep Marcus Toney-El outside. And here's a deflection on the inbounds, and Classy comes back one-on-one, gives up the bounce pass, layup for Snodgrass is good.
Wow, great play there by Klatsky to veer to the left, force Mitchell to step up and guard him, and then he dropped it off with a nice bounce pass for the finish.
That's what Fran Dumpy sees in him. That's why he's going to Penn next year. We're tied at 11. Here's Marcus Toney-El, finger roll for 2.
He just moves so quickly in on the low post. He's such a fluid player.
Snodgrass gives up in a hurry from Morel. Klatsky out front. Nice skip pass, and here is Fleischner knifing in off glass, and it won't go down. Barley the rebound on the outside. Brandon Knight works out front with Mitchell.
Seton trying to reverse the ball against his own defense.
Barley got up in the air and somehow got away with a pass. No travel called. Here's Marcus Toney-El with a big finish off the miss.
Little exclamation point right there as he stretched out all the way to get a piece of that offensive board and throw it down.
10-2 the rebounding advantage off that rebound and made basket by Marcus Toney-El for the Pirates.
A lot of those 10 rebounds have been on the offensive end.
14 seconds ago here in the opening quarter. 15-11. Holmdel trailing, and they have the ball. Klatsky winding the clock down, lost it from behind, goes on the deck to pick it up, and somehow Knight travels. They call Knight for traveling with 2.2 to go.
Well, good call because he got the ball on the ground and then stood up before he dribbled the basketball. So Holmdel will have a baseline out of bounds with 2.2 left.
Snodgrass to throw it in. Looking outside, it goes back to Morel. Rejected here by Tyrone Barley with 0.2 remaining.
A little serve and volley right there as he smacked that thing into the second row.
There is still 0.2 on the clock, and Klatsky will try to throw it in. Here it comes in as Snodgrass trying to tip, and time expires. Well, we talk about the blocks and dunks. Seton Hall Prep. We had a little bit of showtime, if you will, in our first quarter. 15-11 as the Pirates lead it as we go to break.
CN8, connected to your world.
We're your connection to top issues. If you care about it, we're talking about it on It's Your Call.
We're your sports fix. Highlights, stats, interviews, and your calls nightly on Sports Talk.
We're the connection to help make your family's life easier, happier, and healthier on Family Talk.
We're your connection to the best sports, from your kids' high school games to the hottest teams around the region.
We're connected
To your world.
We're CN8.
The Comcast Network.
Hey, you've got Comcast. So you've got the hits and misses. You've got days and nights. You've got dollars and cents. You've got wheelers and dealers, healers and stealers and peelers. You've got it all because we get it. We know you deserve the hottest entertainment and information, and we work every day to deliver. So you've got nuts and bolts. You've got law and order. You've got the reds and whites and blues. Oh, clues. You've got it all because you've got Comcast.
I'm not hiding anything.
If someone buys a DBS system from you, isn't it true that they still have to purchase programming?
Isn't it also true DBS customers are responsible for their own service and installation?
I have no control over that.
But with cable TV, you've already got all the top-rated channels. There's no equipment to buy, and service and installation are guaranteed.
I don't think that's relevant.
Isn't it a fact, sir, that DBS can actually cost much more than cable TV?
I don't recall.
If you're thinking about satellite TV, you might want to think twice. Comcast, everything you connect with.
I haven't done anything wrong.
Welcome back, and I'll tell you what, the fans of Seton Hall Prep showing their colors here at the rack today.
Tell you what, you got to spend some time to get ready to come to the game when you're painting your face like that. I mean, you can't just decide to walk out the door and go to the game.
It's a fashion statement.
No, well, I guess so. A bad statement at that.
15-11. Holmdel trails, but they do have the basketball to start the second 8 minutes. Dave Klatsky trying to pull right out and open up some room for Snodgrass.
The tempo's certainly been to the liking of Holmdel.
And Klatsky misses another layup and gets his own tip to go home. And he's got a bite in his lip as he walks up the floor.
Well, not quite the way they designed it, but good hustle by Klatsky to stay with it and get the tap in. Holmdel gets back to the man-to-man defense now.
Pirates with a basketball as they lead it by 2. One-hand catch there by Toney-El as he kicks it back out for the 3 by Knight on the way, and it won't go down. Curry tried for the tip. It goes to Barley. Barley's finger roll is good.
Now, nice play right there to knife right into the basket. They get a warning of a delay of game right there as Barley put the ball to the floor after the layup.
Well, Tom Stead, his 4th season, all he has done over the last couple of years is win 2 Group 2 championships and get his team into the TOC.
Former head coach at Keyport took over when Sean Devaney did a good job of establishing the program here at Holmdel. Left to go move on to be a college assistant, and Tom Stead's done a great job here with the Holmdel Hornets.
Team's always mentally ready to play. Down the lane, Fleischner couldn't get it to go, but now fights for the loose ball, and it is last touch by the Pirates. Holmdel's going to have it.
Yeah, you see the intensity right there from Fleischner.
And Bob Farrell, in his 22nd year, he has amassed one of the great programs in all of New Jersey.
Well, they've won 90% of their games in the 1990s, an incredible stat.
I guess we have to say in the country now, because his team is always ranked so high in the USA Today poll. Jumper outside won't go. And somehow, Klatsky and company get the ball back, and here's Klatsky on a baseline. Goes into no man's land, but his bounce pass is picked off nicely by Robert Sullivan. Knight got up in the air, gets it inside the layup. Won't go though for Barley on the foul.
Curry came over the top. Curry's always so active on the offensive boards. He's not a good rebounder. He's a great rebounder. You see right here on this missed shot, though, as he tries to crash the offensive glass, he climbs over top.
Well, the thing I like about Curry is he is the presence inside that they didn't really have last year to bang bodies head-to-head.
Well, he's a guy right now who a lot of people are always talking about Marcus Toney-El, but Mark Curry in his own right is going to be a guy that's going to play at a high level of Division I because he's a good, strong kid and is always around the basketball.
Snodgrass almost had a strip, and finally Knight comes away with it. Showtime coming up. Marcus Toney-El.
Wow, and he almost hurt himself on that dunk right there. He threw it down so hard he almost lost his balance.
And a bad long lead pass goes out of bounds. And we have a timeout as Tom Stead has to talk about it. Well, with the timeout, we'll talk about Marcus Toney-El. We said he's one of the top 10 juniors in the country, and he has shown us why here in his first half today.
Oh, he's such a fluid player. He moves so well right here. You see him come crashing into the offensive glass. That's one way to get a putback. And then when he's out in the open floor, and this is what Seton Hall does so well, is they get out in spurts when they turn their defense into offense. No one runs and finishes better than Marcus Toney-El.
I kind of like the little feed from Knight. Here you go. Just kind of shovels it ahead, and I'll watch.
Shovel it ahead, and like I said, he threw it down so hard he almost hurt himself as he lost his balance.
And just like that, it's now 19-13 for Bob Farrell's Seton Hall Pirates.
And this team for Bob Farrell's a little bit different than the last couple years where they just kind of really beat you to death with their half-court offense. This team thrives much more off their defense when they get out and are able to string together runs.
Pirates with the basketball. Jumper here by Barley from 16 won't go. Toney-El keeps it alive. Kicks it out front. Sullivan will reset the offense. Dan Naturel just into the ball game. Gives up. Here's Toney-El. A follow will.
Oh, he's just padding his rebounding stats right there. But how about the first move as he just kind of walked right around the guy right there. Terrific move off the dribble.
Yeah, I think you used the word that I like best. Fluid motion.
Yeah, he is. That's the thing.
McKeever gives up for Klatsky looking for a three, and he's got it.
And that's what they need. They've got to knock down those threes to stay in there. And they're a team that certainly can fire from deep.
Good defensive pressure there. And somehow Knight able to penetrate to Toney-El for almost a dunk.
Almost a dunk. He was a little bumped off there, so he wasn't able to gather, but somehow tipped it home.
Marcus Toney-El putting on a show, 23-16. The Pirates of Seton Hall prep the lead with 4:34 to play. Fleischner, baseline drive, knocked out of bounds. It stays here for Holmdel. Well, like we said, Marcus Toney-El has stepped it up here in this second quarter.
Well, here's that great move around and then able to fight for offensive rebounding position off his own miss.
And you see him on defense as well. Morrell holds it out front. Works against Sullivan. And now Klatsky. 4:20 to play, 23-16. Holmdel will be patient. Klatsky for three, a little bit long, but Morrell will come down with a rebound. Now Snodgrass may take a turn. Morrell wants his chance at a three. A little bit offline. And Toney-El will control the boards. So Marcus Toney-El is doing it on both ends. Dan Naturel is up for Knight. Now Tyrone Barley looking for Dan Naturel. Give and go. Knight and Toney-El for two.
And that's the thing. They've got balance. They can beat you by running up and down the floor, creating offense opportunities off their defense. But when they get into the half court, they also run great pattern half court offense.
25-16. Here's a backdoor cut and a layup. Good look from Fleischner as the layup goes home for Vinny McKeever.
And Fleischner's found guys a couple different times on that nice skip across the lane.
Jumper from Marcus. That's all net for Toney-El.
Well, a pretty good first few minutes of play here in the first and second quarters for Marcus Toney-El.
Well, he has lit it up so far. Here's a nice pass, and no foul on that.
Well, hard to imagine that the whistle wouldn't have blown on something there. Take a look right here. Contact both ways, ball kind of thrown up. Somehow, nothing wrong with that play.
Tomstead didn't like it. Klatsky didn't like it either. It comes back the other way. On the baseline, ball being juggled a little bit by Anthony Jackson, who's just in. And, you know, we've called out the names like Dan Naturel, Jackson, Sullivan, Tomstead. Now seeing the shockwave of troops from the other side get on the floor here in this second 8 minutes.
Well, besides size and rebounding, the other big advantage that Seton Hall has is they have a lot of depth off their bench.
Inside, and this one's going to go. Give it to Anthony Jackson.
They talked about that depth. Jackson, one of those guys who comes off the bench and gives him some good minutes.
29-18. All right, let's say you're Tomstead, and this is your offense. How do you stop the bleeding right now, Rob?
Well, right now, you just got to stay patient. You can't try and get those 11 points off one possession. Just got to keep executing their half-court offense. They've got to try and shrink this game down as much as they can.
Klatsky works out front, gives up for Donovan. Thought about a three. Nice fake. And now gives up.
There's the defensive quickness to recover the shooter.
McKeever for the tray. That won't go. And the rebound's controlled by the Pirates, Anthony Jackson. End to end. Here is Knight for two.
Great play in the open floor by Knight. Right there, Barley nearly stole one on the inbounds play, and Tomstead wants to talk it over. Right now, his team finds himself on the short end of a 13-point lead for the Seton Hall Prep Pirates.
22nd timeout called by Holmdel. And the Pirates are making it look, well, I'd say as easy as 1, 2, 3, wouldn't you?
I'll take a look right here. Great play in the open floor on the nice alley-oop. Marcus Toney-El not able to throw it down. Now all of a sudden they reverse roles, and it's Marcus Toney-El with the assist tonight. Nice give and go. And then once again, everything starts with Knight. You notice the ball was in his hands all 3 times to start things. Right there, another dish. Marcus Toney-El and here combining to get their team out to that 13-point lead.
Well, the Pirates 6 for 6 in their last 6 shots and 12 of 24 so far in this first half. Not a bad percentage. 31-18. Seton Hall Prep is widening its lead with 1:45 to play here in this first half. Ball stays on the perimeter. Vinny McKeever. Now they reset and swing back the other way. And Knight dropping off. They're almost daring Holmdel to shoot the three.
The one thing that they've done a great job is come out and defend the three. It's the quickness of Seton Hall prep that allows them to recover out the shooters.
And his ball seems to be further and further out.
Well, right now, a little triangle delay game as they try to take some time off the clock. If that doesn't work.
Well, the bad pass and the turnover. 5th turnover of this first half against Holmdel. 31-18 with 1:01 to play here in this first half. Emil Mitchell back in the ball game, and he'll bring it up. Mitchell out there with Sullivan. Toney-El, Naturel, and Knight. 5 and 4 for the Pirates. Nice behind the back flick there, if you will, to Mitchell.
Great pass.
Up, and Toney-El is fouled en route to the hoop.
How about that pass from Mitchell? We saw 2 great passes on that possession. The behind the back by Knight, and then a terrific feed by Mitchell to find Marcus Toney-El. Here's that first one behind the back, sees the defense step up. That's the only way he's going to make it. Mitchell gets in, and a nice little flip pass over his head to find Marcus Toney-El.
You got a player that can elevate, just get the ball up high. And Marcus is golden at the free throw line. Bob Farrell sees his star player with 16 first half points already, with 44 seconds to play here in this first half. Make it 17.
Yeah, not a bad first half. He and Knight have just combined to get this thing out to a 15-point lead. Remember, Holmdel was hanging around there throughout the first quarter, but the second quarter, it's been all Seton Hall.
The Pirates making the Hornets walk the plank right now. 30 seconds to go in this first half. McKeever gives up for Donovan. Tries to lean in. That won't go. And only Marcus Toney-El is there to get the ball, but he couldn't hang on as it goes out of bounds.
Donovan used to getting open shots throughout the season, but it's the quickness of the Pirates right now that all of a sudden you don't get open looks. Every time you take a shot, you're pretty much guarded.
In the backcourt for Donovan. We'll see if Holmdel tries for one final shot inside 20 seconds. Lasky gives up now for Fleischner. Donovan lets it go with 13 for 3, a little bit short, and Toney-El the rebound. Ahead for Knight. Long lead pass for Sullivan. Back to Knight. The Sullivan layup won't go. The follow for Knight doesn't go either. Naturel is fouled with 0.7 on the clock, and he'll go to the line for a pair.
How about the ball movement, though, Mick, out in the open floor? Everybody handling. Ball never hits the floor. Very unselfish team, not only in the half court, but as well out on the break. Oops, lost the sneaker.
Got a bad wheel, Rob. Vinny McKeever going to have to rectify that situation. We'll give him a chance to do it. 0.7 to go, and Tom Stead pacing with good reason. His team trails 33-18. Well, the Pirates have shown us why they're the #1 team in New Jersey.
Well, #1 team in New Jersey, come in ranked #4 in the USA Today. Their only loss this season was to the preseason #1 team in the country, DeMath. Although DeMath had a couple slip-ups along the way, but their only loss was to DeMath in the Beach Ball Classic early in December after Christmas.
That was a close one, 50-46.
That was in the championship game down at the Beach Ball.
And the first half has come to a close, but not before the Pirates have put on a clinic. And they go to the locker room leading by the count of 34-18 over Holmdel. Bob Farrell and company making a statement. We'll come back to talk about it in a moment.
This week on Health Matters, join host Steve Adubato in the battle against back pain. It affects 75 million Americans, but you can treat it or prevent it. Plus, listen up. Your kids may be at risk for hearing loss. And get the real facts about PMS. Join host Steve Adubato on the next Health Matters. Sunday night at 7:30, Tuesday at 6 p.m., and Saturday morning at 10. Brought to you by St. Joseph's Hospital and Medical Center on CN8.
The Kicks march to the NPSL Championship continues this Saturday night, March 27th, as the Kicks will attack the Florida Thundercats at 7:35 at the First Union Spectrum. Come and see All-Stars Matt Knowles and Peter Pappas as the Kicks defend their East Division title. For affordable family fun, Kicks tickets are available at the First Union Center box office and at all Ticketmaster locations, or by calling the Kicks at 1-888-888 Kicks.
She's the newest member of our Comcast Newsmakers team. Her name is Candace Kelly, and she knows our region. She graduated with a law degree from Seton Hall. She's produced Inside the Law and appeared on Court TV. And she's covered the streets of our cities and towns. She's a part of the community. That's why she joins me to bring you interviews with policymakers and decision makers on Comcast Newsmakers every 30 minutes on Headline News. Candace Kelly, she's connected to your world.
Rutgers at halftime, and it's time to talk a little hoops, says my partner Rob Kennedy, talking with Kevin Bannon, discussing what they did in the NIT, and Rob gets a chance to get a drink, and me, well, I get a chance to talk to Leroy Jones. He's a member of the executive committee for the NJSIAA. Mr. Jones, thanks for joining us here at the half.
Thank you.
Now, I know that you're a member of the executive committee, and you're in charge of a lot of different projects. Tell us exactly what the executive committee does on the NJSIAA.
Well, the executive committee is responsible for passing all laws that people in NJSA have to abide by, which goes to all schools in the district. So you sit in on everything. I mean, the whole total commitment.
And also, one of the hardest things, I'm sure, is to decide what teams are eligible to compete in different state tournaments and things like that?
Well, I don't think so. I think one of the hardest things is when teams have problems like fights and whatnot, is to say that that team cannot be involved in playing in the next year or the following year, that they are eliminated from participating in any tournaments. That's a very hard thing to do to kids.
Well, I know that I've seen a lot of different studies that when they talk about the sports teams in New Jersey, the NJSIAA has several teams that have not had players disqualified from events. As a matter of fact, we're one of the best at that in the country. So sportsmanship really dominates when you talk about NJSIAA teams.
Well, every meeting that we go to, everything that we have, sportsmanship is number one between NJSA, parents, students. We preach sportsmanship. So I think that's what has done it.
I know we're talking with Leroy Jones, member of the executive committee of the NJSIAA, and I think that you've even taken that a step further because the state has also held different sportsmanship seminars, if you will. Athletic directors, parents, coaches, almost everybody involved in and around sports gets a chance to attend some of these meetings that I know you've had, and that's really made a difference.
Oh, it really has. And I think what it does, it allows the people to see that NJSA is really involved and they can participate. It's not just NJSA dictating the rules. It's saying you can come in and be involved in it too.
Well, Leroy Jones, I want to thank you for joining us here at the half. As a former basketball official, real quick, you enjoying the action?
Love it. Love it.
Leroy Jones, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Member of the executive committee, Leroy Jones from the NJSIAA. We're at halftime, and right now the Seton Hall Prep Pirates are putting on a clinic, but stay with us. A lot more to come in the second half right here on CNA.
Family Talk. It's the show about your life. Now that's unpredictable. So what's on next, Mary?
If you have a high school student heading for college, then you know what an arduous process school selection and applications can be. If you're dreading this process, don't panic. Join me and our guest expert for some practical advice on how you and your college-bound child can negotiate this process.
Next time on Family Talk at 6:30.
Now available for the first time ever on home video, the best of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast.
What a night. Who are we honoring?
Jokes, jabs, insults, and put-downs. That's what made these roasts hilarious and makes this tape a must-have for your video library.
Johnny Carson is a comedian who is seen every night in millions of bedrooms all over America. And that's why his last wife left him.
This tape features over 50 stars and over 100 minutes of the funniest, most outrageous laughs ever seen on television.
How sweet it is.
She wants to dye her hair back to its original color, but she can't remember it.
It takes many years to be a great comedian.
Sure does. You ain't reached that year yet.
You know, some performers never have a night like this. Those are the lucky ones.
Call now to order the best of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts for only $19.95. It's not sold in any store, so call and order right now.
At halftime, Seton Hall Prep leading 34-18. They've been led so far by Marcus Toney-El in the first half.
And boy, did he have a big first half. I mean, everything that the Pirates were able to accomplish, so much of it was with Marcus Toney-El. You see the runner through the lane there early to get himself going. He had 19 points in the first half. Knight chipped in with 7 and Barley had 4.
Now for the Holmdel Hornets, they've had scoring from Dave Klatsky, but they're going to need some more.
All right, here you see the 3 in the corner. One of the few times they got open looks from 3. They're going to need more of those here in the second half. He was their leading scorer with 7. Snodgrass with 5, including 1 3. And Fleischner with 4. The first 4 points of the game for Holmdel. Since then, he hasn't scored.
So we're at halftime once again in the Hornet. Well, it's getting a little hot for the Hornets as they trail by the score of 34-18. We'll come back with our second half in a moment. Stay with us right here on CN8.
This week on Health Matters, join host Steve Adubato in the battle against back pain. It affects 75 million Americans, but you can treat it or prevent it. Plus, listen up. Your kids may be at risk for hearing loss. And get the real facts about PMS. Join host Steve Adubato on the next Health Matters, Sunday night at 7:30, Tuesday at 6 p.m., and Saturday morning at 10. Brought to you by St. Joseph's Hospital and Medical Center on CN8.
At National Finance Corp, we understand life is expensive. Homeowners, your home is like a giant checkbook. Use it for any reason. Home improvement, debt consolidation, education. Hey, you know what you need the money for, and now you know where to get it.
No matter what your credit is or how much equity you have in your home, NFC has a loan program for you. And NFC is lending millions of dollars a day.
That's right, Jim. Homeowners, this is Phil Rizzuto. For years, I've been telling you where to get the money you need. Today, the smart choice is National Finance. It's fast, it's free, and there's no obligation.
We've got the rates you're looking for.
We close faster than anyone in the business.
We can save you money right away.
Consolidate your credit card debt into a home equity loan.
Call us now. You'll save money either way.
The bottom line is that National Finance got us the money that we needed when we needed it.
Please call 800-597-5299.
Welcome back. We are set for the third 8-minute segment of our Tournament of Champions semifinal. Seton Hall Prep leads at 34-18 over Holmdel, and a lot to cheer about if you're a fan of the Seton Hall Prep Pirates. But that's Holmdel.
That's what you got to do. You got to give the spirit, even if your team's trailing. You know, they've had a great season, so cheerleaders still got to get up and make some noise, whether you're up by 16 or down by 16.
Knight will work out front, and here's his skip pass to Mitchell, and one of the few times today, I think it's only the 4th turnover of the ball game for the Pirates.
Well, Holmdel started out in a little zone defense. They showed a little bit of zone in the first half, but not much of it. They went most of the way with the man-to-man, but open with the zone here in the third.
Snodgrass goes up for Donovan, and here is his 3, and John Donovan calls home from long distance. That's what Holmdel's going to need to get back.
That's what we talked about, their ability to knock down threes. Donovan, a terrific three-point shooter, 51% on the season.
Two-three look here from the Hornets to start this third quarter.
The one thing at Seton Hall, if they do have a weakness, it's their outside shooting. They're not a great three-point shooting team. Almost better off trying to play some zone, see if you can't put a body on somebody off the offensive boards.
Well, Brandon Knight will answer with a 3 and kind of squelch that philosophy right there.
That's the thing. He's their best three-point shooter, but again, the one thing that they don't do extremely well, and I mean, they do just about everything else extremely well, they're not a great outside shooting team.
Klatsky eyes the 3. That's a go from deep, and he's got it.
On the other hand, Holmdel is, but they haven't gotten open looks here in the second quarter. They got a couple in the first quarter, and now they've gotten 2 to start things off here in the third.
37-24, the Pirates the lead in the ball. Seton Hall Prep trying to get back to the finals for yet another year. And here is a foul on the baseline.
Gives us a chance to look at some of those halftime stats. Take a look right there. Just 2 of 8 in the first half with the three-point shots, but since then they've hit 3 of 3. And look at those rebounds. 18 rebounds to just 4 for Holmdel. The size just too much for Holmdel to handle in the first half.
Then the difference. Curry gives up here, and Marcus Toney-El continues his torrid scoring pace.
Now, great interior passing right there from Curry to find Toney-El. So he's got 21 already, and we've got a lot of time left.
And he could be working on one of those entries in the TOC record book for most points in a ball game.
Remember, in their North final, as you see a bump right there by Toney-El, he got a career-high 28 in that game against Roselle Catholic. So that career high certainly within reach here with 21 already, with 5:55 left to go in the third.
Well, he was also the MVP in that parochial A championship game as well. So Marcus Toney-El living up to all expectations and building. 39-24. Holmdel's jumper is good here for two by John Donovan.
Now Donovan's got good size, and Emil Mitchell trying to come out and get a hand in the face. Mitchell at 5'7" just didn't have the size to challenge Donovan.
Emil Mitchell with a nice entry pass. Here's the three on the way by Knight, a little off balance. Curry couldn't get the rebound. Snodgrass kept it alive, and Klatsky, the long lead pass, intercepted here in the backcourt by Brandon Knight. Knight fouled from behind. Oh, they're going to call a block.
And Klatsky tried to step in and take the charge against Knight. Klatsky a little bit upset himself for the turnover earlier to get things started.
So the Pirates inbound under their own basket, leading 39-26. 5:13 to play here in the third. Emil Mitchell wants the long one. That's no good. And Fleischner, the rebound, goes up to Klatsky in a hurry. David Klatsky goes up for Fleischner on the baseline. He kicks it out front for Donovan, who's been hot. Lets it go a little bit short there. Fleischner, the putback, won't go. Snodgrass trying to keep it alive, out of bounds. It stays here for Holmdel.
That's about as many rebounds on one possession as they had in the entire first half. 2 offensive boards on that possession. Remember, they only had 4 in the first half.
They try to get it into Fleischner, and Toney-El just kicks it out of bounds.
Looked like a hockey goalie there. Seton Hall Prep, one of the top hockey programs as well. Maybe take a look at the goalies in there with the kick, save, and a beaut.
Yeah, we'll see the ice hockey team from Seton Hall Prep next Sunday night in the finals. But here's Marcus Toney-El behind the back. Oh, he traveled.
Well, Marcus Toney-El right there got a little carried away with himself, and that got Bob Farrell off the bench. Certainly didn't like that. Marcus Toney-El, Bob Farrell usually very cool, calm, and reserved on the sideline, but that got his ire a little bit.
A little bit. But he will keep him on the floor. Fleischner trying to force it inside, and Curry comes up with a steal. So Brandon Knight will run the show out front, 39-26. Seton Hall Prep with a comfortable lead with 4:17 to play here in this third quarter. And now Mitchell for a long two, aired it out. And Brian Snodgrass will control as Abe Klatsky brings it up. I wouldn't worry yet, Coach.
Holmdel's starting to hang around, though, here a little bit. If they can knock down a couple shots here in the half court. Great pass.
Klatsky with a great pass to Fleischner.
You got to love the way Klatsky plays. He always plays with so much poise and confidence. Now all of a sudden his team has some confidence. Seton Hall Prep will take a timeout.
39-28. The Hornets, like you say, are buzzing around. Klatsky, 3:16. I'll tell you what, I like the way Klatsky finds people cutting.
Well, he's a guy who always plays with such great floor vision. He knows exactly what's going on the floor. He's got great poise. He really knows how to play the game. He'll be going to Penn, and Fran Dunphy have another guy. I mean, next year it'll be hard for him to get a lot of minutes with that backcourt of Michael Jordan and Matt Langle. You think that guy's going to call into Sports Talk tonight?
Well, I don't know. Sports Talk with Bruce Beck. You can meet the players, coaches, reporters, sports personalities from around the region. Sports Talk each weeknight at 10, only on CNA.
Now, does he classify himself as a sports personality with that face paint going there?
Quickly becoming one, I think. And the whistle before the shot in the lane, there's a hold as Barley tried to force his way inside.
Well, the zone's been effective here in the second half. Remember, the second quarter, Seton Hall Prep just kind of ran away with things, but Holmdel's zone defense here in the third has gotten themselves back to within 11.
It's allowed them to have a 4-0 rebounding edge here in this third quarter as well. Jumper, ooh, foul. I think we're going to get 3 free throws. Knight got decked as he let it go.
Now Snodgrass got a good piece of him right there, and that'll send them to the line for 3.
So Brandon Knight gets a trifecta coming up. He's 61% free throw shooter, averages about 12.6 a contest.
Like Marcus Toney-El has been playing some very good basketball here in the state tournament, has upped his average in the state tournament to 15 a game.
One of the reasons why the Pirates have advanced so far each year is it seems like anybody on their roster can elevate their game just that much more come tournament time.
That's right. And one of the things with Knight is he signed early with Pitt. With the coaching change there's been some speculation as to whether or not he will become a Panther next year or whether he may opt to go a year of prep school. So that'll be a decision that he and his family will have to make once this season ends.
You saw the change, Morrell for Snodgrass. Knight's already at 10 points, looking for 11. He's got it. 3:25 to play here in the third. 41-28, Seton Hall Prep. Klatsky works against Knight out front. Pretty good matchup. McKeever thought about a 3. He had it, but he didn't pull the trigger. Klatsky draws 3. And here's Fleischner.
Wow, I mean, that was a great pass. 3 defenders on him. He still keeps his presence of mind and has the poise to find people. He really plays under control.
It's going to look more like a Princeton offense with him running the show at Penn if it comes to that. Here is a jumper outside by Farley. Catches the front of the iron and a rebound loose ball foul.
Al McKeever called for the foul underneath as he was trying to box out Marcus Toney-El. They called him for a push.
See what kind of defense they put on here. Man on the inbound. Jumper for Knight. Rolls off the iron. No good. Tipped by Toney-El. That doesn't go. Curry trying to keep it alive. Now Barley, and he is fouled over the back. And it's going to be on Adam Fleischner.
Well, once again, Seton Hall getting all over it on the offensive glass. They keep the ball alive. You see right here, Marcus Toney-El keeps it alive. Everybody gets a piece of it. And finally, the foul from behind by Fleischner.
So Tyrone Barley. His career high is 19. Steps to the free throw line, and this is his first. Barley, a defensive specialist, so to speak, had 9 steals earlier this year in a game against West Orange.
And there's a guy who comes in and averages nearly 9 a game. Also, 3.5 assists per game.
Yeah, night in and night out, you got to wonder whose turn will it be for the Pirates.
They've got so many different weapons and guys that can step it up, but pretty much consistently throughout the season, it's been Knight and Marcus Toney-El, and then take your pick, somebody else usually stepping up with them.
Morrell lost it on the spin dribble, and Brandon Knight will bring it up. The back pass now goes inside, and Curry can't get up the ball, and it's knocked out of bounds. It stays here for Seton Hall Prep.
That zone defense early on. It's taken Seton Hall a little while to adjust to it. Now what they're doing is they're putting the ball in play and just crashing the offensive glass.
Size exchange as Caparo, the 6'3" junior, just checked in for Morrell. The Pirates go a little cold. They've missed their last 8 shot attempts. But they still lead it 42-30. Inside, this one won't go, but the finish is there from Marcus Toney-El again.
Well, if you're missing shots, that's one way to clean it up. The put back, the dunk by Toney-El.
And here is Knight stepping in on a steal. Long lead pass ahead for Robert Sullivan. Layup, good.
Well, Knight gets a steal and assist. Nothing new for him. This is a guy that averages 6 assists and 5 steals a game. Got one of each on that possession.
And Holmdel wants to talk about it. They call a full timeout. The Pirates of Seton Hall Prep widening their lead to 46-30 with 1:32 to play here in this third quarter. Well, Marcus Toney-El continues to put on a show here in the second half, Rob.
And he's done it in a lot of different ways. Once again, though, on the offensive glass, he's so active. He's always around the basketball. Shot goes up, he comes in, and he crashes. That's the only way that Seton Hall has gotten anything done against the zone defense here, has been on the offensive glass.
Well, the Pirates making a statement. Another look at the way Marcus Toney-El comes flying in.
It comes from way out of your screen. Nobody puts a body on him, and right there for the dunk on the putback. And here's Knight. Great defense that changes over into offense. That's what gets this team going. They can score in bunches because of their defense. They've got great quickness. They're able to get the ball and get out in transition.
And they get other guys involved like Robert Sullivan, who finishes with the layup, too.
And that's right. Robert Sullivan, another junior. So he's another guy who's going to come back with Marcus Toney-El, Curry, and company. So certainly they lose a lot, and Brandon Knight and Emil Mitchell, two guys who really step up and are the guys that run this team, but they've got a lot coming back again next year.
Pencil them in to go deep again in the tournament.
Well, this is their 7th TOC appearance, ties the record currently held by St. Anthony's, who's also been in 7 tournament of champion appearances.
They're a very consistent team. Only once have they lost to a lower seeded team in tournament play. That was a loss to Rancocas Valley a few years back. Knight in traffic. The left gets it done.
There it is. He had to switch over to left because the defense was on the right side and threw it up against the glass.
Makes the score 48-30 inside 30 seconds here in this third quarter. Donovan out front. Down the lane, it won't go. And Knight brings it back in a hurry. Waiting for everybody to join him. Now gives up for Curry. Well, Curry's developed into quite a role player on this team. Somebody to bang the body inside, something they missed last year when they took on Al Harrington and St. Pat's of Elizabeth.
Right now, they'll hold for the last shot here in the third quarter. A little double stack delay. Made famous by Georgetown and John Thompson for a lot of years.
Knight works out front, gives up for Barr. Inside for the easy 2 by Marcus Toney-El to beat the buzzer. 50-30.
That's what you call offense execution coming down the stretch.
And not a wasted second to boot. 50-30 as we have played 3 quarters here in this Tournament of Champions semifinal. The Pirates out front. Hope you're enjoying our action on CN8. We have 8 more minutes to come, so don't go away.
Most people think that I spend my life in the kitchen and the supermarket. Well, it's true. I love cooking and shopping. But there's another important part of my life, my students. I walk into my kitchen at Hudson County Community College to pass on the techniques I've learned over the years. As I look at their faces, I wonder, are they longing for great culinary knowledge? Or are they just waiting till I'm done so they can eat?
Let's Cook at 7:30 on CN8, the Comcast network.
Fun, easy, inexpensive, and ingenious.
That's what coaches and experts say about Solo Tennis. Improves all tennis skills. Form, timing, speed, confidence, strength, and endurance.
How does it work?
Just hit the ball and Solo Tennis will return it to you every time.
Who can play?
Anyone of any age. Simple enough for a novice, yet challenging enough for an expert.
Where can you play?
Anywhere. No backboard or tennis court is needed. Solo Tennis is a fun, exciting game you can play anytime. Tennis USTA magazine says,
take full natural strokes and the ball comes back to you every time.
Inside Tennis magazine calls it
simple yet innovative.
Solo Tennis, called the best invention in 20 years by World Tennis magazine, is now available for only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. For fast delivery, just call the toll-free number on your screen. Solo Tennis comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Order yours today.
Welcome back. The Pirate paraphernalia is prolific. The Pirates.
Triple P there, huh?
That's right. Going for the alliterations. 50-30 at the rack as Holmdel has the basketball.
I'm impressed.
Glatzke will work out front. Once again, Seton Hall Prep keeping most of the starters on the floor. A few substitutes. And here's a nice jumper outside. Count it 3 for Caparo. Dan Caparo with his first tray of the day.
He's their leading scorer on the season off the bench, the 6th man who steps in and gives him good contribution. First time he's had an open look.
Good defense there. Ball knocked out of bounds by John Donovan. Well, Tom Stead needs a couple more threes to get his team back in this one. And it has to happen quickly.
Well, they've had a great run. They went out and really played an aggressive non-conference schedule. Early on went to the Nike Holiday Prep Classic as Knight hits the runner. They also had games against St. Pat's and St. Anthony's, met CBA in the Shore Conference semifinals.
Robert Selvin the steal here. Gives off the Knight, reverse layup, kind of blocked himself, but the follow is good from who else? Marcus Toney-El.
Tell you what, he's been all over the place today. Having a monster game is Marcus Toney-El.
So Marcus Toney-El with 27 points. Ties the 9th best performance in a TOC ball game. With Mark Bass and McCorston, Brevin Knight from Seton Hall, and also Knight did it twice. So not a bad effort from Marcus Toney-El. Every point puts him that much higher on the ladder.
And another 2 points gives him a new career high. Remember, established a career high with 28 a couple games ago against Roselle Catholic, in a game in which Roselle Catholic gave Seton Hall Prep a scare. The A North final.
Ball being batted around, and it's going to go over to Holmdel. A good hustle by Dan Caparo, just in off the bench. Already has the 3 in this quarter.
One of the things Bob Farrell was worried about today coming in was how would his team respond to the 8-day layoff they last played last Saturday. And one of the most impressive games of the year when they blew out St. Joe's Metuchen. That was a game that a lot of people were really looking forward to. See the hand check by Glatzke out in the open floor. That was such a great game last year in the state tournament. May have been the best game of the entire state tournament last year. St. Joe's Metuchen against Seton Hall Prep in the Parochial A final. It didn't happen this year. They just manhandled St. Joe's 60-36. So they're playing great basketball down the stretch.
Bob Farrell seems to have his team working on all cylinders here. 6:11 to go in the ball game, and they lead it 54-35. And Knight goes to the free throw line once again. Money. So Brandon Knight continues his scoring. Came into the ball game again as a 61% free throw shooter.
Trying to do what his brother Brevin never was able to do, as Monsignor Kelly, the principal, looks on. And that's win a Tournament of Champions crown. He himself has been to the final twice.
Caparo won't get the layup here as it just wouldn't go down, and then a reach-in foul on frustration. Are they going to call it on Knight? If they call it on Knight, that's awfully late. So I think that it's going to be Knight for the reach-in foul, and this ball is rejected in a hurry. A little pushing and shoving going on, and
that's all we get. We don't get one of those rejecteds out of that. That was a nice block.
It was a nice block, but I was looking at the extracurricular activity between Curry and Fleischner after the play, where Fleischner grabbed his jersey and held on. I thought something might be breaking out. So getting ready for that Seton Hall Prep hockey game coming up next Sunday night. The Continental Airlines and he always watch the play and see if something transpires. I'm not looking for fisticuffs, but a little bumping and shoving going on. Curry out front. Now Tyrone Bartley. Nice entry pass to Toney-El. It's on the floor. He dives after it, but it's going the other way.
Well, here's some of that rough stuff we were talking about. There's that block shot, and grabbed his jersey a little bit, but not much going on after that.
Well, you don't want it to get too chippy. But here is a turnover again, and Knight ahead of the field. Layup, good.
That's where they're best. When they're out and running transition and getting out and filling lanes, they're hard to beat.
Brandon Knight with 19 points in the ballgame. Fleischner has it hit the backboard and over the back. No call. One hand, and there goes the Toney-El for the jam.
There's a new career high, and one of the reasons he's had that is because Brandon Knight's found him time and time again tonight.
Klatsky's three won't go, and a rebound from Marcus Toney-El. Lost the handle. Curry picks it up. Throws ahead to Knight. It's out of bounds. Well, the Seton Hall Pirates really kind of want to put the pedal to the metal and open things up here in this fourth quarter.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, they've done it all season long. You see him out in transition. It's a nice dump off right there as Marcus Toney-El hits for a new career high as he now has 29. Little shake afterwards.
And he moves up to 6th on the all-time list. Also, Darnell Tyler from Long Branch had 29 in the TOC game. So the watch is on for Marcus Toney-El.
Still got a long way to go, though, if he's going to get to the top of that list. John Crispin, back in '98 in the first round, when he was with Pittman, scored 45 in that game.
I think his brother's up on the list there as well. Here's a jumper from outside by Knight. That won't go. And Paparo controls the rebound.
That's right. His brother Joe the year before had 28. Joe, the star guard out at Penn State, and his brother John will be joining him next year out there in Nittany Lion Country.
Timeout called here as a full timeout. The score is 60-35 with 3:59 to go. I don't have enough balls out there at Penn State for the both of them.
Wow, that 45-point performance in that remarkable game against Rancocas Valley last year in the first round tops the charts.
Well, our march to victory is headed to the basketball finals. Mark it down. We'll be back here at the Rutgers Athletic Center Tuesday night, March the 23rd, live at 6 p.m. for the NJSIAA First Union Boys and Girls Basketball Tournament of Champions Finals. Of course, we'll have Rich Ackerman and Rob Brooks anchoring the festivities here. Bruce Beck will be here with yourself, Rob Kennedy. Should be a big night of high school basketball right here at the Rack on Tuesday, live at 6 o'clock. And then don't forget, CNH Sports goes back to the Continental Airlines Arena Sunday, March the 28th, live at 6 p.m. for the NJSIAA New Jersey Devils Hockey Finals. You can join yours truly with a call on that one. Looking to bring hockey your way right here on CNA. Pirates lead it 60-35 inside the final 4 minutes. They're on their way to meet Teaneck. Boys Tournament of Champions final.
Well, that's an interesting matchup because Teaneck's a team that can match the quickness of Seton Hall Prep in the backcourt. Not many teams have the quickness to be able to match them in the backcourt. The one advantage, though, clearly that Seton Hall Prep has is up front. They've got a lot more size than Teaneck does. But we've seen that hasn't stopped Teaneck before. 30-1 on the season, so that should be a good matchup.
Fleischner's jumper outside hits the back of the iron and won't go. Here's a steal by Klatsky. He picked his pocket. Three won't go, though, for Snodgrass, and Klatsky almost did it again. Well, that's quite a defensive move.
Able to sneak up from behind. You see right there. Gets a little 5 as well. There's the missed shot. Marcus Toney-El bats it, and look at that with the left hand to push it back out. Nearly got an assist on it as well. There we go. Almost got it twice.
It's like a replay of a replay.
Thought it was good editing back in the truck. I thought they were showing the same thing twice.
Marcus Toney-El goes to the free throw line here. And this one goes in.
Marcus Toney-El says, hey, I like that move you had.
30-point effort so far from Marcus Toney-El in this one, trying to add to his total. Misses his 31st point as it goes out of bounds. Well, this day and game has belonged to Marcus Toney-El, unquestionably.
Yeah, right from the start, the 19 points in the first half alone.
Here's a jumper by Donovan for 3. That won't go. Fleischner's tip is errant. Klatsky picks it up. Can't finish. Klatsky another tip. And then the ball knocked out of bounds by Vinny McKeever.
A lot of fight in this Holmdel team. I mean, that's one of the reasons why they've gotten as far as they have here to the TOC semifinals. This is a team that scraps and battles every possession.
Well, last year they made it to the quarters. This year they made it to the semis. Who knows? Marcus Toney-El will lead with 3:14 to go and 31 points. Ties him for 5th all time. Or 30 points, I beg your pardon. 5th all time with Gerald Williams from Orange. So 30-point day for Marcus Toney-El. Not bad at all. 61-35. Holmdel with the basketball as they try to make this look respectable. And there's 2 for Brian Snodgrass.
You can see what type of shooter Snodgrass is right there, coming along the baseline with the catch and shoot. Just didn't have enough good looks.
Kevin Shannon handling the ball on the backcourt for the Pirates. Gives up now for Mitchell. And now Mitchell pulls Snodgrass out, looking for a little room to operate. So Mitchell with Jackson, Naturel, and a double dribble call. It's coming back the other way. And Coach Farrell still coaching on the sideline. Tom Stead, all he can do is sit and watch the clock run down. Jumper outside and a foul. This will be 3 free throws for John Donovan.
Well, Mitchell tried to recover back to the shooter, got there a little late and got a piece of him as well. John Donovan, his brother Mike, was a star player here at Holmdel as well, went on to play at Yale.
Donovan did have 28 earlier this year against Shore. That was his best ball game this season.
Coming off a 16-point performance against Parsippany. And Holmdel really played well in that first round game as they beat a good Parsippany team by 22. Really pulled away in the 3rd quarter with the 15-1 run. Put 4 guys into double figures, but not the case here tonight. I mean, they made that little run in the 3rd quarter, got the lead down to 11, but never were able to cut it into single digits. And then Seton Hall Prep went on that one little burst, and then the game was over.
2:16 to go, and you see the scores, 61-39. The Pirates on their way to another Tournament of Champions final. Knight out front gives up for Shannon. And they're going to call a double dribble on Shannon. It's the 2nd double dribble call. We've seen it almost as many trips.
Popular call here in the last couple seconds. This is nothing new for Seton Hall Prep, too. Remember, they've beaten opponents by an average of 26 points per game. They've just been a dominant team throughout the year. You and I saw them earlier this year up at Seton Hall in a good game against Patterson Catholic, in which Deshaun Williams went a little wild to cut the lead. But that's probably the last time since they were really challenged, until Roselle Catholic gave them a little bit of a scare in the North final.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, here's a team that has pretty much cruised all season long. And you can't say they really played teams where they can do that. I mean, they've played some pretty good stiff competition, and yet they've made it look easy.
Well, in the Iron Hills Conference is now all of a sudden we see some of the seniors coming out for Holmdel. Brian Snodgrass goes out right now. He's had a great career here at Holmdel, acknowledged by the fans. But you're right. I mean, they've played a good, aggressive non-conference schedule. The last few years, they've just been beating people up in the Iron Hills Conference, so they get a few games where they're certainly not tested. People thought there was going to be a very good game in the Essex County final. A lot of people thought they were going to play North Eastside, but that game never developed as Eastside was upset in the semis.
Also out of the ball game here is Vinny McKeever. He's a senior, 3-year starter, takes a seat. 1240 SATs, going to North Carolina next year.
Well, nice job by Tom Stead to get his seniors some acknowledgement from the crowd as he takes them out one at a time.
The finish at the other end won't go home. A non-finish for Nolan Ivers, who's a senior also.
Here's my shot.
So the final substitutions being made here for Holmdel. And they'll have to think about what may have been. But still a great run for the Group 2 champions. The Group 2 final against Mendham was memorable.
Well, they beat Mendham the year before as well, so they've matched up against Mendham each of the last 2 years in that Group 2 final. As now Adam Fleischner is the next senior that comes out and gets acknowledgement from his teammates as well as the Holmdel faithful. That'll leave David Klatsky, the heart and soul of this team, to be the last senior to get his curtain call.
And a free throw made there, and here's the substitution. So Klatsky will come out, gets a hug from his teammates. A great high school career, 1,000-point scorer, 600 assists, going to Penn, MVP of the state tournament with 27 points against Mendham.
And it's not just in the basketball. He's a terrific student, a great tennis player as well. So he'll be out there playing tennis for Holmdel as well.
And he ends up with 13. Jumper here won't go. The tip, the foul by Naturel. And we got a whistle inside. Holding is the call. Well, Bob Farrell can start thinking about the TOC finals once again.
This will be their third straight trip to the finals. And there will be a guy who they'll be counting on a lot. Marcus Toney-El coming off of tonight's 30-point performance. And look for him to once again carry the load on Tuesday.
Brandon Knight comes out of the ball game, gets a hand. So Knight's congratulated after a fine effort today. And Anthony Jackson missed the post at the line. Junior John Donovan gets a hand as he goes to the bench. Dan Naturel comes out as well. There's Donovan. Had a pretty good ball game today.
That'll be a key for Holmdel next year as he and Dan Craparo will be counted on to try and rebuild as they lose the 4 seniors who've been starting for the last 2 years.
Morrell gives up, and here's the jumper for 2. No good by Santiago. Inside the final 50 seconds, and this one caroms off the backboard wildly and a foul call. I think it's going to be on Anthony Jackson on the reach. So Anthony Jackson called for holding. Well, kind of reserved, kind of quiet. But the Pirates know they have one more game to go in this 1999 season. Big Tuesday night right here on CNA. Morrell with a nice job of driving into the paint. And the foul's on Anthony Jackson.
Nice spin move as he was able to get down the lane. We talked about Donovan and Craparo. Morrell will be the 3rd junior that'll be counted on to step up as they try and rebuild and reload after this fine senior class moves on.
First one won't go with 42.4 left. 28-1 last year and 27-3 this year for Bob Farrell and company. Just keeps on moving. .40 seconds to play in this one. Kevin Shannon passed up the shot opportunity. Parker Reynolds into the ball game as well. Here is Shannon down the lane, the runner.
Go, there you go. Misfired on the deep shot, so he puts it to the floor, gets into the lane for the runner.
Morrell back in a hurry. 20 seconds left. Jumper for 3. Rims out by Ivers. And Shannon brings it up once again. One more shot to go. And the crowd on its feet as the Pirates are going to win this one. The long 3 is short, and it goes out of bounds with 2.3 left. Well, Rob, the Pirates showed why they're #1 in the Garden State.
Yeah, no question about that. A very good performance at both ends of the floor to make sure that they showed up and got a business-like 21-point win.
63-42 the final. But stay with us here on CN8 as we'll be talking to Bob Farrell, and I'm sure Marcus Toney-El will stop by as well after his 30-point performance today. Stay with us on CN8.
Got fun for the whole family without leaving home. Comcast Home Theater in April.
When games were still games, and the heroes were still heroes, there was
Joe DiMaggio, we want you and I.
quite possibly the greatest all-around baseball player in history. Now you can share in the story of this very glamorous and very private man. Joe DiMaggio, in his own words, for only $19.95. And when you order now, you'll receive a second video for free. Beyond Greatness, the stories of 10 of the greatest athletes of the century.
Joe DiMaggio hits in 56 consecutive games. Will this record ever be broken?
Joe DiMaggio, in his own words.
I believe 56 games will go as well.
And Beyond Greatness, 2 films to treasure for a lifetime. Call now to order these 2 extraordinary films, or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
63-42 the final. Seton Hall Prep defeats Holmdel, and they're on their way to the Tournament of Champions final Tuesday night here at Rutgers. And right now I'm joined by the head coach, Bob Farrell. And coach, in this one, it was close early on in the first quarter. Your troops came off the bench. Marcus Toney-El stepped it up, and you go home happy.
Well, you know, we have a tremendous amount of respect for the Holmdel team. They move the ball so well. They have great outside shooters, and they're so well coached by Tommy Stead. I mean, he's one of the bright young coaches in the state, and we were concerned. If we didn't stop them from getting good looks on the outside, we thought they would give us a lot of trouble.
Now you're on your way to your 3rd Tournament of Champions final coming up here at the Rack on Tuesday night. Let's sink in a little bit that, you know, well, here we go again, but this time you go in as a top seed.
Well, last few times we've been seated a little lower, but we're just going to have to come out and play as hard as possible. TNEC is a team that just plays their heart out. So we're going to have to do the same thing, and I think it's going to be a great game.
I was also impressed by the way that everybody kind of steps up, handles the basketball, and looks for the open man.
Well, I think that traditionally that's been the kind of teams we've had. Everybody does everything and try to run a lot of motion where big men are outside, little guys are inside, and hopefully try to find the weakness in the defense.
And it's always nice when Marcus Toney-El gets a career high, too.
Both Marcus and Brandon and Mark Curry and Emil and Tyrone, they all played great. We got some good contributions off the bench from Rob Sullivan and Danny Natural. And I just couldn't be happier with how we played, but the kids understand that there's still one more to go.
Coach, congratulations on a big victory here in the semifinal today.
Thanks, Mick.
That's Bob Farrell. Let's swing over to Rob Kennedy with Marcus Toney-El.
Well, Marcus, you had a career-high 30, including 4 dunks. It looked like the one time you almost hurt yourself there. You threw it down so hard.
Yeah, you're right. I threw it down too hard. I didn't think I was going to get up that high. So when I came down, my foot wasn't with me. Fell on my butt. Hurt it. I'm all right, though.
Yeah. You also look like you're having fun out there during the game, getting into it a little bit with the student section. So certainly look like you guys played as well as you've played all year in your last 2 games against St. Joe's Metuchen and Holmdel here now.
Yeah, Coach Farrell stressed that they have really good shooters on their team. And we understood that we had to get out and put a hand in their face. And if we limit their 3-point shots, that we'll have an easy road. So in the first half, we came out with a 15. And they didn't shoot the 3-ball that well. So I think that carried the momentum into the second half to get us the victory.
Take a look at a couple of your highlights, including getting into the lane. Guys always seem to find you, but then you were also able to find yourself, too, off the offensive glass. A couple nice moves inside, but also on the offensive glass.
Yeah, since we had a 3-guard lineup, they tend to pass the ball more, like guards do a lot. And if I make myself available, they make sure they get the ball to me. So as long as I'm active and they're active, we get easy layups. And active around the boards, you get put-back dunks.
Did you guys get a chance to see TNEC play in that first game while you guys were here? Did you get a good look at them?
We saw a little bit of it, not too much, but we know they're a good team. They're going to come with a lot of intensity. Everybody won knockoff #1, so we'll be looking forward on Tuesday.
All right, well, congratulations not only on the win, but a terrific performance with your 30 points.
All right.
All right, well, we'll see him, Mick, and everybody else from Seton Hall here Tuesday night in the final. They clearly come in as the favorite, but Teaneck is a team that certainly can give them some problems, especially with that quickness in the backcourt.
I think that'll be a great matchup no matter how you cut it, because both teams ball hawk the ball on defense. Could see new turnover records, I think, in that ball game.
Well, that'll be a key. Which team's able to handle the basketball against the full court and half court pressure defenses of the other team?
Well, Rob, we'll look forward to seeing your call on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock here on CN8 with Bruce Beck in that championship final. But here in the semis today, Holmdel is the loser. The Pirates of Seton Hall Prep are on their way to the championship game. Hope you enjoyed this one on CN8. Now for Rob Kennedy, I'm Mick Monningham. So long, everybody.
My friend Larry is always into the latest fads.
Come on back, good buddy. CB's a communication of the future.
He's always looking for the new thing.
These 8-tracks are hot. It's the future, man.
But when he bought a satellite dish, I just had to say, stop, Larry. You can't